Hi everyone, welcome to this weather update from your National Weather Service office right here in Miami. I'm senior forecaster Tony Reynes, and we had a pretty busy morning here in South Florida. We had multiple reports and tornadoes actually confirmed this morning. So far, we've seen 6 tornadoes, 5 of them confirmed, 1 of them detected by radar, but we do have evidence of damage on the ground. This is happening across multiple counties. Additional tornadoes are possible today and tonight. And please remember, there's a tornado watch that continues until 9 p.m. Now, what else can we expect for the rest of today and tonight as Milton gets closer to the state and conditions continue to deteriorate? Let's bring in our meteorologist in charge, Robert Mojeda. Robert, thanks for being with us again.
Yes, hi Tony, good afternoon. We're expecting conditions to continue to deteriorate across South Florida the rest of this afternoon and tonight as the center of Hurricane Milton continues to approach the coastline and expected to make landfall tonight. So based on the more recent radar images, there's the eye of Milton here. You can see it based on our Doppler radar over the southeast Gulf of Mexico, but closer to the coast here by Naples, we have a strong rain band that's getting ready to move onshore, probably be moving onshore during the course of the afternoon. And this rain band is likely going to produce tropical storm force wind gusts, heavy rainfall, and possible flooding, even a few tornadoes. And speaking of tornadoes, it's been a really busy morning as Tony indicated. We've had several confirmed tornadoes over the interior of the peninsula, mainly in the Everglades, but they've affected areas like Big Cypress Reservation, Alligator Alley, Clewiston, Belle Glade. So several communities have already been impacted by these tornadoes. And that threat of tornadoes continues all the way through at least 9 p.m. And especially these areas here around and west of Lake Okeechobee have the highest risk of tornadoes over the next several hours. But there is still a risk of tornadoes all across South Florida. The other thing, well, first, before we get into the other impacts, the storm is forecast, again, to make landfall later tonight there in the west central Gulf Coast of Florida and then move across the peninsula. So with that track, the winds are going to begin to increase as the circulation from Milton begins to affect the Florida peninsula. So we're going to have hurricane force winds possible or expected from Naples, Lake Okeechobee area westward and northward, with tropical storm force winds primarily in these fast-moving rain bands and gusts across the remainder of South Florida, beginning this afternoon and along the Gulf Coast, beginning this evening along the East Coast, and continuing all the way until tomorrow, or through much of the day tomorrow, Thursday. The main concern going forward into tonight and tomorrow morning will be the storm surge. The Milton is expected to produce a devastating storm surge over large parts of the Gulf Coast of Florida. And our lower southwest Florida coast, for example, Collier County, is expected to get about 5 to 8 feet of storm surge right along the immediate coast. 5 to 8 feet is life-threatening flooding. So this is above ground level, right along the immediate coast. So we're going to be watching this really closely, and in fact, we're already monitoring the water levels out there right now, and what we're seeing is the water levels are beginning to increase. Now that the storm is getting closer to Florida, we're seeing tide levels in Naples begin to rise just over a foot in the last hour alone. So these red and purple lines are the water levels increasing there in Naples Bay, right near downtown Naples. So this sharp increase here is a sign that the storm surge from Milton is already beginning to affect this. And it's only going to get higher and worse as we get towards high tide late this evening and especially early tomorrow morning.
So before we let you go, one thing that we've been hearing on TV, the interviews we've been participating in, and it's a big concern. There are still a lot of residents that they don't want to evacuate. They got the order, but they don't think it's going to be as bad. They refuse to leave their properties. What can you tell those people now that time is running out?
Well, the time to evacuate safely, at least, probably has already passed. Conditions are already getting worse out there. The winds are picking up. The rains are picking up as well. If people can still safely evacuate, please do so, because the worst of the surge is still yet to come. The worst of the surge is expected to begin this evening, but reach its peak during the pre-dawn and overnight hours while it's still dark, maybe the early part of tomorrow morning. So it's really, really important that people can get out safely and do so as quickly as possible.
Robert Molleda, thank you very much for your time, for being with us today.
Thank you.
And we want to remind everybody that for the latest information, you can visit our website at weather.gov/Miami. And please follow us on our platforms on Facebook and X. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.